You gonna do a bit of an intro or something like that?
Yep. All right, everyone. What's going on? This is Jason Germino from GameOctane.com. I am here today with our first exclusive interview on Twitch, so I appreciate everyone checking us out and watching us. We will be putting this on YouTube if you just happen to miss this, so you're not going to miss anything. It's going to be awesome. I currently have Erik Johnson with me right now. He is from Infinite Monkeys Entertainment, and he is one of the developers of this game, Life Goes On, and he's going to here to tell us a little bit about it. But first, go ahead and say hi, Erik. I don't want
Yeah,
to
hi
ramble
there.
you there.
Great to be chatting with you.
Cool. If you guys are having problems hearing him, please let me know. I can turn his volume up a little bit. I know you guys can hear me pretty well. So getting into things, Erik, what got you into gaming in general, and also pertaining into development side of things rather than just playing? What made you cross that line?
Yeah, so I started, pretty young. My dad picked up a computer at a garage sale or something like that. It was like an old Atari, like 8-bit Atari 800,
Yes.
which tells you a little bit about how old I am. Um, and so it was really this crazy weird thing. And it's like, okay, what can I do with this? And one of the answers is, well, you can play games on it. Um, and pretty early on, I sort of started to, like get a little bit frustrated with my like limited selection of gaming options. Or,
Hmm.
I always thought, oh, I can do better than this. I want to make my own games. And so how do you make a game? And that sort of got me into programming and a lot of the more technical side of working with computers and that sort of thing. And it kind of went from there.
Where did you start the program? Like, what age did you start programming, and did you do any schooling, or is it all just like kind of
Yeah.
self-taught type
Oh
of thing?
man. So I was like, yeah, like I really kind of liked it, just as a fun sort of interest in computers, mostly just to play games. But
Of
then
course.
like yeah, right, like everyone else. Every now and then I'll
Yeah.
meet someone who's like a computer programmer who
Uh-huh.
doesn't play video games, and that makes no sense to me at all. I'm
Yeah.
like,
How,
how do you
how how are you
program?
not passionate about something you do that doesn't make any sense whatsoever?
How do you love programming without getting into it through video games? But for me, it was certainly through games. And yeah, I don't know. I went to like, I learned a bit as a kid, like from some books and going to like camps and things like that.
Oh wow. Okay, that's cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. My parents were very supportive of my very nerdy hobbies as a child, for
Awesome.
sure. Yeah, and I went and did a computing science degree after that. Um, and then from there, sort of games were kind of a hobby mostly for me while I was sort of doing other software development. Um, but then with this game, it turned into much more of a full time thing.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
so going back in time, takes a little time
Mhm.
travel. What would be one of your funnest games that you remember when you were playing, like as a kid or growing up?
Right.
Like, what was your fondest memory that you'd have?
Oh boy, there's like too many amazing
I
games
know.
to back. I always had like a real love for the old school like Sierra Quest games,
Oh yes,
like Police Quest and King's Quest, and like Space Quest was always my favorite.
yes.
Um, and Leisure Suit Larry was more hilarious than as scandalous as it used to be. But
Yeah.
I always had a ton of fun with those. The like Heroes Quest, Quest for Glory, those ones were pretty cool.
So, do any of those have any like influence on this Life Goes On?
Not a ton. Space
Okay.
Quest certainly has its own like humor, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that like some of that in this and in like my sense of humor for sure comes from
Hmm.
Space Quest. Kind of yeah, but this is a different sort of game for sure.
Yeah, because this is a game. I don't know if anyone's is. A lot of people that's watching this may have never heard this game before. It's been out on Steam. How long has it been on Steam?
We released on Steam just about 2 years ago, April 2014.
Okay, so 2 years ago it came out. It's currently $12.99. You can either get it on Steam. I think you guys have a link on your website as well,
Yeah,
to
humble.
purchase it. But on Steam, it does have a rating of very positive, so it's doing well. I mean, I hope for you guys, are you getting good response out of it and
Yeah,
review
we've had
wise and
like
stuff?
really pretty positive feedback. It's been enough to encourage us to do more with it at the very least,
Yeah,
right?
of course, and that because now the reason why we have them on here is they're working on the getting this expansion done to death, ported over and get it set up on the PS4, which one of our guys, Noel, met you guys at the PlayStation Experience. What was it, December? Yeah, beginning of December.
San Francisco.
Yep, met you guys there, and he loved it. He's like, you got to talk to this guy, and we get you something set up. So that's awesome. I'm glad you guys did. Now, getting to PlayStation Experience, well, how was that for you guys as a company?
Oh, it was really fantastic. So it was through Sony, obviously. Like everyone at PlayStation Experience is there because on Sony's invite and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
And Sony was really great to us, and PlayStation Experience itself was like a really cool conference. We've done PAX a couple of times in Seattle, and PAX is a blast. PSX was kind of cool in a very different sort of way, though, because it was like a little less like wall to wall crowded. It was a little more chill. The people there really were interested in like sort of seeing everything and like really playing, like really giving the game a shot and that sort of thing. It was a really cool crowd. It was like lots of cool stuff going on, tons of cool games being shown. PSX was really great.
So it's not like a little babysitting. Is that like a PXS that the people just bring their kids? It looks like a cute game.
No,
and drop their kids off. Oh, okay.
It was sort of actually, now that you mention, I didn't really think about it at the time, but now that you mention it, actually, the crowd was like, like lots of teenagers, but lots of adults too, and in fact, probably an older crowd than what I've seen at other conventions and other gaming events and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've never made it to PAX, but I really want to go. I'm hoping, if not this year, hopefully next year I can get going, because I just want to see everything. It'd just be so awesome to check that out. Because I've been to Comic-Con and stuff before, and that's just that's unnecessary now. It's so extreme, and there's so many people. It's like 100,000 people in like a 5-block radius. It's just silly, stupid now.
Yeah. PAX is crazy too, but maybe a little less crazy than
Yep, I've definitely shown that. Okay, so getting into the game now. So this game has been out for give it a little less than 2 years, correct? Like as you said. So what made you guys do the jump to PlayStation 4?
Oh, well, so I mean, we'll see some gameplay in a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the style of game is something that I think just like it just really feels good to play with it on a controller. Like you can play it with keyboard and it's fine, it's great, but it's really at its heart like the controller's the way it should be, right? And sitting on your couch on a big screen TV.
Definitely.
Is the like best way to experience this game, right? So we knew that we were like interested in consoles, and we hadn't worked with consoles before, and we ended up meeting Sony and meeting some people from Sony, and they were really encouraging and really supportive, and we thought, yeah, this is a great opportunity, let's do it.
That was my next question. Like how supportive was Sony in this whole like endeavor? Like I feel like Microsoft and Sony, they're starting to open their arms a lot more to like independent developers and stuff, and being a smaller company, like we were talking before we started, and there's literally only 3 people in this company,
right?
That did this, so that's really impressive to me, and especially to have Sony get kind of like an exclusive grab on this Done to Death. It really draw me to you guys, which was really awesome.
So it's a little like it's certainly opened up, right? Like before like so Microsoft kind of took the first steps with like the Xbox 360 and the whole live arcade thing.
Yeah.
They were sort of the first to kind of open things up to indies a little bit.
Yeah.
But even then you still had to like sort of sign up with a publisher, or you had to go through them as a publisher, and it was still pretty restrictive in terms of how it worked. Whereas this generation, I think all 3 of the Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony have all opened up their platform, but of the 3, I think that Sony has had probably like the best, like they've figured out the best sort of how to make their giant corporate machine talk to a company of 3 people or whatever, right? And set up relationships that work and figure that sort of thing out. And Microsoft and Nintendo is doing that sort of stuff too, but just so far this is how just working with Sony has kind of worked out the best for us so far.
Which that's awesome. I like I said, we have a multi-billion-dollar company like Sony, like you said, that can come down and be able to to have a relationship and create this, kind of like a camaraderie. So you want to
Yeah,
make this game for them. I think that's really awesome. And I got one person
yeah,
in the chat is sad that it's not going to Xbox. I mean,
well, it's not impossible for that to ever happen.
it's
But
not impossible.
yeah,
Ryan, that's for you. It's not impossible. So
it's not in the short term plan, but we'll see.
the end game, anything can happen. So now getting into the game a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to sell me on this game. I'm gonna put this on the clock.
Are we ready to go?
Ready?
To start the timer? Yeah.
Go. Two
So I don't
minutes.
know about filling a whole 2 minutes on just a pitch, but Life Goes On is a puzzle platformer where you're gonna die a lot, and in fact, so people say like Dark Souls. Well, no, not quite like Dark Souls. But the thing about our game is that the whole idea is that by dying, that's the only way you can actually make it through the game. All of the puzzles revolve around your death in some way. Every level in the game, you have to die at least once. And when you die, these knights that you're seeing on screen, this endless string of knights, their bodies stay behind in the level. And those bodies become tools for you to solve puzzles in the game. So, for example, a lot of platformer games have something like a spike pit, and you try to jump across the spike pit, you fall into the pit, you die, start over. But in our game, you jump, you fall into the pit, you die. Well, that dead knight stays in that pit of spikes, and when you start with a new knight, now you've got a convenient sort of stepping stone to help you get across that pit of spikes. Got other ideas like this where you've got like a freeze ray, and you can freeze a knight into a cube of ice, and now you've got like a now you've got a box that you can sort of this big ice cube that you can slide around to like hold down a button or jump a platform to jump up to a higher ledge or something like that. Yeah, and the whole game is really about sort of exploring this thing of like your characters dying in video games, and sacrificing yourself and changing. In most video games, you're always trying, okay, how can I get through this without dying? But in our game, it's like, no, okay, where do I die? How do I die? What's the best way to die? How do I solve this puzzle by dying?
That's it. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That was
Cool.
pretty good.
Thank
So
you.
so what is there a story behind this, or is it just kill yourself as many times as you can until you can actually
So,
actually get to the end of the level?
yeah, so there's not a lot of story. We just have been working on other things and that sort of thing. But you can see we've got this on the screen here. You've got this king sort of character, and he's got a poster for the Cup of Life, and you've got this unlimited sort of stream of knights running through this portal. And so the subtext behind all of this is you've got kind of like a Indiana Jones style, like Holy Grail, Cup of Life kind of, immortality thing or something like that.
Okay.
And it's out there somewhere. And so the king is sort of sending his unending army of willing heroes to go trying to retrieve this Cup of Life. And there's a cup in every level, but it turns out, maybe this one isn't the right cup. Where's the next cup? So,
Like the princess is in another castle, basically.
yeah. I'm not super explicit about it, but yeah.
It's understandable. That's cool. I got people in the chat saying this crazy concept, but it sounds way fun. I think I think this is an amazing type of game. So from Life Goes On, that was released almost 2 years ago,
Yeah.
to now, the
Right.
PS4 version of Done to Death. What's the difference? Why would, if someone already owns it on PC, why would they want to get it on PS4 or
Yeah. So, well, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to be pushing it out as a free update to our PC
Oh,
players. as
perfect.
well.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But if you've played the game, or you've sort of seen the game and said, oh, I'm not that interested, or something like that, what's new and what's different is we've got so the original game was 3 worlds. New game adds a 4th world that has a bunch more puzzles, 2 new mechanics, and a lot more sort of the new levels are kind of bigger and longer and more involved and more in depth and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I think we've probably kind of maybe roughly doubled the like average playtime, I would guess, based on the new content.
Okay.
Yeah. Significant bump up in the play length, just based on the difficulty and length of the new levels. Lots of polish, lots of sort of new features. Another new one that I'm really happy about is that the knights can unlock hats and weapons. So if you go after the achievements and that sort of thing, the knights start wearing different hats, and instead of the sword, they start running around with different weapons.
So how do we get a GameOctane hat? Who do I gotta talk to to get a flame hat or something, a little blue flame?
We'll have to talk about that. I don't know.
We can talk about that afterwards. We don't have to talk business on this. This is only fun business.
Yeah.
I got a question to chat. Do you have a limit on the amount of deaths per level?
So the intro screen might kind of hint at this. There are always more knights.
Okay.
There is an unlimited number of knights for every level. We try to. Occasionally, you can like kind of break a level by building a pile of bodies.
I was just gonna ask that, like, how many times can I break this game by throwing like 1,000,000 bodies in a pile or something?
Occasionally you can do that, but we try and make it so that the game doesn't break if you die too much. We do have some challenges and that sort of thing to see if you can do it in kind of a minimum number of deaths. But if you want to just throw bodies at the problem, you can totally do that.
So, as a more technical question, what is this game built off of? Like, is this an engine you guys have created yourself, or is this?
Yeah, no, this is built on Unity, and our artist works in Max, and all of the models and that sort of thing are built in 3ds Max, and yeah,
that's awesome. So, before we dive into the game, I just want to point off. So, Infinite Monkeys Entertainment, this game that's been around for about almost 2 years, is going to take the jump over to a different platform. There's only 3 people that work in this company, correct? Just 3. You're one of the 3,
so
obviously.
It's kind of like it's changed over the lifetime. We released almost 2 years ago. We were in development before that, and so it's kind of fluctuated between how many people and how full time or part time. And
yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay,
sort of thing. But yeah, the core company right now is the 3 of us.
3 major players in the company. So that just blows my mind. Like,
yeah,
I can have a team of 6 guys, and I can just draw stick figures, and that's probably where we're getting. But you guys can make something like this. This is impressive. Like, I'm really impressed, which is super awesome. Yeah, I mean, we've already been talking for, let's see, about 17 minutes. So let's show some gameplay so we can get this going. I am going to apologize. I'm not playing it. This is going to be Erik, which is coming through Skype, so it may have a little bit of choppiness, but we're going to get the gist of it, and he's going to talk some stuff and show us different things that you can do. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right, let me fire it up, and hopefully the video quality is all right.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions while we're playing that I'm not asking, you guys want to ask something, just write it up there, and I'll relay it to them.
Yeah. So this is actually something new. These maps are all new in the new world. I'll hop into the first level. So this level is called Straight to the Point.
Okay.
And
no pun intended.
No, yeah, right. So you've got these knights, you've got these spikes. You die on the spikes, like I was saying, and now you've got sort of a safe-ish platform to land on. And their heads kind of bobble back and forth as you run across them and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a little blurry, but so you're coming out of the light from the ceiling. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, so I dropped down from the ceiling when I started, and then I came over here and I hit this blue glowy thing. And now every time I need a new knight, they come out of that.
Oh, the little checkpoint. Okay. And is it a name changing on the bottom?
That's right. Yeah. So that's something I haven't mentioned. So every knight has their own name. The 6th Squire Henry Archer the Fourth. This is Henry Archer the Fourth right here, and he just died on some spikes, and so his name gets scratched out. And then we meet the plant Marquise.
And that's a scroll on the bottom, right? That's a scroll.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, like I said, every level has one of these cups in it, and that's the goal in the level is to grab this glowy cup thing.
That's okay. And this was the first level, so obviously it's going to be a little shorter, but
yeah, it kind of ramps up over time with complexity and the different ideas and that sort of thing. Yeah, you can see there's sort of some challenge death and challenge time.
Okay, so you would do 4 people in 30 seconds, which
okay. To if you want to go for the extra unlocks and the extra challenges and things like that.
Okay, that's awesome. Shiny thing collected.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So we tried. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of a crazy concept, right? You're like, oh yeah, you've got to die. You've got to kill these knights. You've got to
Yeah.
like, die over and over again. And so we tried to, instead of like, there's kind of really two ways you can go with that. You can be really like violent and gory and bloody or shocking or whatever.
Yeah.
Or we decided, no, we're going to make it like really silly and ridiculous.
Which is the best way to go. You can't go wrong.
Glad you agree. So I'm going to sort of do something a little weird here. You can get crushed underneath a doorway. That's something new in the new version. So yeah, but you've got these checkpoints. You've got these buttons. You know, I want to get to the cup. I can't get to the cup.
Yeah, because the door's in the way. Okay, unless you stand on the switch. Okay.
Right. So any suggestions? What do you think I should be doing here?
I mean, I would say I would just jump into that saw blade and let my body fall on top of that switch.
Let's see how that works out.
Please God, let that happen. Yes. Oh, electric mill. And Noble Princess and Nora run in and she gets the prize.
Yeah,
That's
so all of our
awesome.
knights are randomly male and female, and they all look the same, but they have. When we were at PAX in first year we were at PAX, we brought like a giant soundproof box with us with a microphone inside it.
Yeah.
And we let people who were attending PAX yell into the box to record death sounds. So we got, I don't know,
that's awesome.
like 100 or something different death sounds for the knights, and they're all from like, oh yeah, look, and then I hit the par deaths on that level, and this is all a little unfinished.
And you got the police cap. See?
Yeah. It's my
Telling you, little GameOctane flame or something. We can worry about that later. That's awesome. I like that idea though. Hats are always fun. Any game with hats is a game that you probably want to play.
We were certainly inspired by Valve.
Oh, Valve and their infinite cash flow of hats and
their money printing machine. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just that's all it is.
So yeah, so you can see my little knight's got a police hat on now.
So how many hats or items, or I mean they're all hats, right? You can't change anything but the hat.
Yeah, there's let's see, there's hats and weapons.
Oh, you can have weapons too. So how many items can
alternate? We call them sort of props or whatever. Yeah, there's hats and weapons. I think how many are there? Can't remember if there's 30 or 40. There's a decent number.
Total of both?
Yeah, combined.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, a reasonable number, I hope. We think.
No, yeah,
so,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So there's this little like furball thing that's looking at me.
Okay. It's a little hard to see, but I can see him now. I didn't see him before.
See him now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this little furball dude. His name's Jeff.
Son of a bitch, Jeff.
This is Jeff, and Jeff hides in every level.
Okay.
And
but he wasn't in the first level.
He was. Yeah, he's just hiding.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
I just didn't. I don't want to give away all the secrets, right?
And he ate your ass.
Yeah.
And now he's sleeping.
That's right. So we figured that everything in our game's got to kill you in some way, right? And so we decided that our hidden collectible should like collect you.
That is perfect. I love that idea. That is amazing.
Thank you.
So now, okay. Oh, you have to hit a button to spawn. I was waiting. Okay.
Right. So yeah. The jump button lets you respawn, which lets you sort of make decisions about when you respawn and where you respawn and things like that. Which like we get really crazy with the checkpoints in later levels. But yeah, or even this sort of gives you like a thing here, right? Where it's like I've got this button and it closes these open. It swaps these doors, right?
Yeah.
I want to get to the grail. Can't get there. Button opens up the door, but I can't get back down.
Yeah.
What do I do?
I'm trying to see if I can decipher things on my screen.
Yeah, it's a little easier if you can play it yourself, right? But
can you move Jeff?
Can't move Jeff.
Okay.
Jeff's sort of the immovable object. He sleeps.
But you have to be able. What the hell? I'm just looking at the spikes on the right hand side. I just want to have you go jump over there for no reason, but I don't think that's gonna help you at all.
Well, what's gonna happen now, though?
Oh, you gotta spawn again? Oh, it's open there. Okay, that makes plenty of sense. I wasn't thinking ahead. I just wanted to kill something. That's all I wanted to do.
Right. I'm trying to ask you to solve the puzzle and really.
I'm like, nah, just kill him.
Yeah. So yeah, I met Jeff, so I got a helicopter beanie unlocked.
Oh, that's so awesome. It doesn't make you fly, but that was never the point.
Yeah, sorry, it doesn't make you fly.
And you met Jeff.
Yeah, that's right.
Good old Jeff. This is so good.
Yeah. So like you were saying, like, yeah, sometimes you just want to you don't want to solve the puzzle. You just want to load up the bodies, right? Like,
which would help you.
Which in very often helps you.
Help you because you just rage instead of rage quitting. You just kill yourself a bunch of times. And you're like, oh hey, I just built a bridge of dead bodies somewhere.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Sort of child-proof the level,
That's
sorry, go ahead.
That's so awesome. Like, the concept of the game and like where you don't really get punished for dying.
Yeah,
is a concept that it's not really it's not around that much. But I think with the way you guys have built this game, where it's almost comedic in a way, which makes it so much better.
We certainly tried to have a sense of humor about it, right? Like, it was interesting too. Very early on, I was playing Limbo.
Yes.
And and Limbo's got these really intense moments of impaling this little boy on the spikes.
Yeah.
It's really it's got this.
It's heartbreaking.
Really yeah, totally. But so I'm. It's interesting that we kind of ended up having a much more of a funny, cartoony look, but because it's a big contrast, right?
Yeah.
How do you look at death? How do you look at death in video games?
I think it's funny. I think it's funny. I mean, it's a serious game. I mean, it's a game that may not take itself seriously at times.
Yeah.
Again, you got to jump in. Obviously, you're going to jump in a bunch of things and kill yourself, which to my right, it's funny in a way where you have an endless supply of yourself.
Right.
And you litter yourself all over the levels, which it's funny. So when I first heard of this a couple of, when you guys launched it on Steam, I was like, you gotta kill yourself. You gotta kill yourself to go forward. I'm like, that seems weird. But then I watched the video. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I think it's really funny, especially we have different names. I mean, I don't know how many names you have, but I mean, I'm sure you can sit there in a level for 30 minutes to get and not get a duplicate. So
pretty much. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
So there's sort of two aspects to it, right? On one hand, it's this thing, like you said, you can burn off steam, you can toss knights into saw blades and watch the bodies bounce around in the level and things like that, and it's kind of funny, and there's sort of some fun kind of aspects to that.
Yeah.
But then there's also this idea of okay, I need to get across this pit, so I've got to sacrifice a knight, and you've got these kind of heroic knights, and they're charging forward to die to to make progress or whatever. And we've had certainly a lot of fun with that too.
Yeah, the whole I think it's awesome. I can't say how much this game just looks fun. For PS4, I'm super excited because I think I would love to stream this, but with a 4-month-old, a lot of times my time doesn't match up. I mean, we were supposed to do this interview last week. That didn't work out too well, but yeah, no, this is fun. Do you have any all your levels unlocked right now?
Yeah, so this is all.
Do you have anything? I mean, without rooting, going to the last level, is there a crazy level to show that's just madness?
So, sure. Let me show you. Let me show you. Oh, I wonder. Okay, I wonder.
He's got a little evil laugh. Okay, now
yeah, our artist was working on something today.
Oh, okay.
I think he's got it. I think it's in this build, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to officially show this or whatever. But whatever.
GameOctane exclusive. It may be a little pixelated, but this is the world exclusive. Nobody else is going to see this.
No one outside of the office has ever seen this before.
Timp _298 Soul Switchback. Come on.
Yeah. Obviously,
you can't get any more official name than that. Okay, that's good. That's awesome.
So one of the things. So this is World 3, and this is in the base game that you can get on Steam right now. But one of the things that we've added is there's this extra level that's kind of off the main line here.
Yeah.
And these are kind of challenge levels that if you really want to dig into some crazy puzzle challenge, these are the levels for you.
Okay.
And so there's all sorts of crazy mechanisms and all sorts of crazy
Holy
things
crap!
going
It's
on.
really pixelated, and you're cutting out on the audio, but there's so much stuff going on. I think it's the reason why.
Well, let's see if this shows okay. Can you see the big crazy spinny thing on the left?
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, it's like a it's like a quadcopter with blades.
Basically.
Like this, but it's just oh my God, that's intense.
Yeah. So this is Ian, our artist, was kind of cackling maniacally as he was like building the visuals for this.
This game can technically never end. You can just keep releasing updates to this game for the rest of your guys' lives, and
different crazy ways to like, yes, walk the knights around. And
now, is there any in the future? I mean, you can tell me yes or no. I don't know if you guys are allowed to say this or not, but is there any like can gamers in the future, you want to be able to have them have level editors type of thing?
You know, like, oh man,
I know that's a crazy like task,
Yeah,
and I know that's insane. But if
not
you
like
have a chance to, would that be something you'd like to do?
I would love to do it. It's not on the roadmap right now, just because if we could go back to the start of the project and do things a little bit differently, like that's definitely one of the things we would have done from the start, is build that level editor ability in from the beginning.
Yeah.
We didn't do that, and so it's like it's actually a pretty hard problem now to like.
Because if this is just strictly single player, so you have to add a bunch of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We'd love to do it. It's not on the roadmap right now, but man, we would love to do it.
No, I understand. That'd be fun. I mean, that'd be something like one day you're just getting pissed off, be like, all right, I'm gonna make some hellacious level, and I'm gonna send it to my friend and be like, hey, eat one. I want you to see you can just you'd kill. I mean, it's kind of in a weird right because you have to die anyway, so it's like unlimited, but it's still I can see someone just getting frustrated by playing some of these levels. It just
for sure. Yeah,
especially if you're trying to get the hats. And you're like, oh, I only can die 3 times, and you get to that third life, and you're like, well, this sucks. I gotta restart this damn level again.
Yeah, pretty hardcore for sure. Let me show off one more thing too.
Whatever you got.
Yeah. So I'll show. This is sort of more if anyone watching this has seen kind of the first 3 worlds. Well, this is a kind of a sneak peek of obvious work in progress, not finished art here, but
okay. Temp 305.
This is sort of temp. This is a bad example. Let me see. This is a better example.
This is much clearer. There's a lot less going on right now. A lot less animation. I think it kills it.
Yeah, right. That's probably it's not streaming very well if the whole screen's got to update every time. Whatever. But there's that blue glowy thing at the bottom.
Yeah, I see that.
That's one of our new World 4 mechanics, and it's a portal.
Oh, God damn it!
It works from the checkpoint system.
Okay.
So now what that means is so I can if I want to go to a checkpoint, I can die and go back to the checkpoint.
Yeah.
But now with the portal, there's this saw blade and conveyor belt and portal and things like that. So now I can die, and a body will go through the portal, and it'll come out at the checkpoint.
Wait, what? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's on the conveyor belt, and it literally sends a dead body up the belt because it kind of froze for a second. So I was in.
It lagged out a little bit, so you couldn't really see it.
Okay, I see it. I see it. Then it shoots. Oh, that's so you're just literally just making a bridge of bodies up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
So this is one of our new mechanics. It's these portals. You can move bodies through the portals. You can move the knight through the portals. You can send ice cubes through the portals.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah, that's one of the new things we're introducing in the new world.
And it's only if the checkpoint is active, right? So since that one's blue, so if you move over to the other one, it'll just start shooting them out the other one.
Right. So I'm sure that.
That is neat. That is neat.
Oh, now I gotta it's a little tricky because I'm gonna cheat a little bit and use a cheat key here to warp around, but
you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
But there we go. So now I should have these bodies in an infinite loop going through the. So that's the
now. Can you get hit by a body? Is that
push you around? They won't kill you under most circumstances, but they will kind of kick you around, and you can kind of jump off of them.
I love that. That's so awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the portal. That's new in World 4.
That's like,
That's yeah. And then if you want to see our one other, if you're
yeah, for sure.
curious, I
Yeah,
can
we
show
got time.
you one more new thing in World 4. And that is this thing right here. Just gonna jump into it.
What in the hell?
Oh, the volume on that is
Oh,
oops.
that's that's that scared the crowd. That was you for a second. I'm like, what
Yeah,
the
sorry, no.
hell was that?
I didn't realize. Sorry, the game's muted, except that the zombie sounds apparently are
Or not?
not. Sorry about that.
Hey, I see Jeff. Jeff's up there, just chilling.
Just yeah, I'll show you how to get Jeff on here. Yeah, I've got these. You can turn your turn your knight into a zombie that'll chase you around, and you can kick in the head, and he's gonna walk into the fire.
Roasted.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the other new major kind of update to World 4 is these guys.
That's pretty slick.
Crazy sounds.
I love how that's the only thing making noise in the whole game right now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. That's perfect. I love it. That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't want to keep playing a bunch of stuff on the game.
Yeah, I don't want to show off too much. I just figured I'd
yeah,
show
because
a
it's
quick
not.
preview coming in World 4 for the people who are
So
curious about them.
is the price of this game with the expansion going to be the same
Yeah, it is.
on PS4? It's gonna be $12.99.
Actually, I can't 100% say for sure on that because I haven't actually read like Sony's official pricing guidelines and if we're allowed to do
Okay.
$12.99 versus like a $10 or $15 price point.
Yeah.
No, our plan is totally to keep the same price.
Okay. And then do we have a release date yet on it?
Not officially. It's soon. This
Soon.
spring. Yeah.
Oh, the spring. Okay, so it's really soon then.
Really soon. Yeah, we're closing in on our like date that we want to submit our build to Sony. So there's obviously, like you've seen, there's some rough edges and some unfinished things here, but we got a bit of work to do left. But yeah, coming really soon.
Well, I mean, I don't mind the underscore numbers for for level names. I think it's pretty slick.
Underscore level name. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. It works out on all levels. So I'm gonna say this now because I know there's a little bit of a delay in the chat. So if you guys have any questions, post them up. If you have any questions for either myself or for Eric, before we close it off, I don't think we have too much more to show, but we're going to talk about a couple more things before we get out of here. So put those questions up now so I don't lose them, so we don't like, hey, see you later, and then all these questions start showing up.
Oh,
so
those questions, right?
Yeah, so with Infinite Monkeys Entertainment, again, that's your guys' company. This is your very first game you've worked on, correct?
Yeah.
And do you have any others in the wheel well?
Difficult question.
I know you may not be able to say. Okay, let's reword this. If you were able to make another genre, a game out of another genre, what kind of genre would it be?
So there's actually a bit of an issue here where like we've got these team members and we're all sort of like, oh, maybe it should be this, maybe we could do that. There's like a space combat. One of Ian, our artist, has a pretty cool demo for a space combat sim where you can like build your ship out of all its components and then go do like VR, like Oculus Rift, like space dogfighting with the ship you build yourself. Ian's an insanely talented guy.
That is awesome.
Yeah, there's like a few different projects going on, so.
That's cool. So this is not your only. You're not one and done. You guys have other things in the pipelines, but this is the main one. This is what you guys are trying to get out in spring.
This is the focus of the company for sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's so awesome. So with say in the future something like that does happen, how do you see you guys expanding? Like, you guys see more adding on more people, or are you guys going to kind of continue with the Trinity? And then go through and get your guys as part-timers, or what?
Like Life Goes On is, comparatively like a relatively small game, right? But we've been working on it for years.
Yeah.
Because we're a small team, right? And certainly like a bigger team can do more, can make more ambitious games, can make
But it
bigger
also
games.
costs more to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well.
Like, yeah, you need to pay the bills too.
Yeah,
Right?
you can't just be like, oh, thanks for the game.
Yeah.
Here's a Big Mac and, and a coupon. Get the hell out of here. Like, there's a little more to that.
And so there's a real balance there between like doing something that's sustainable, and going big.
So would you ever? Okay, so one person says there's no questions for me. Glad you guys are looking into making more games, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I got another one says, what games does yours draw inspiration from? I know we
Right.
touched a little bit on that in the beginning, but we can go back
Yeah,
and
I
dive
can,
into that a little deeper if you can.
So funny story with how the game actually started. The project actually started at a game jam. Where I'm not sure if you're familiar with the concept, but the idea is like you get together and make a game in a weekend is sort of the typical game jam thing. And so it was a global game jam event, and there was a local organization that put together a like get together to do global game jam, and that's where our team first met, and came up with the concept. The theme of the event, the theme of the game jam was this thing. It was an image of a snake eating its own tail, and it's called the Ouroboros, and it's this sort of symbol for like life and death and stuff like that. And so that was sort of what inspired the concept of like, okay, what can we do with like, how can we make a game where it's about this idea of like death and renewal and infinity and things like that. So that's sort of where the core concept came from. And then I know for me, when I was working on the game, like I said, I'd been playing Limbo, which I think sort of, had saw blades and spikes on my mind for sure. Mm-hmm. Braid was a big factor with its like kind of using the time mechanics to cooperate with yourself.
Which that game made me rage quit so much when that first came out. I had to throw that in there. But yeah, both those games are amazing. Those are super awesome games. If you guys haven't played those, you guys need to go find those.
Yeah, classics for sure. Super Meat Boy has this thing when you're playing Super Meat Boy and you like die on the spikes or die on the saw blades or whatever, mm-hmm. and it like sprays blood all across the level, and then the next life that you play, all of that blood is still there. And so that was sort of part of kind of where like the inspiration and the idea came from a little bit.
Where you just keep playing over and over again. There's no reset, basically.
Right. And in Super Meat Boy, yeah, your character dies, but like the mark is left on the map. And so we're like, okay, well, what if the bodies are left behind? What if that's how you leave your mark on the map and that sort of thing?
Yeah. This whole premise of the game, I mean, I know a lot of people agree. They've been saying it sounds really awesome. Someone says it kind of sounds like Journey, the premise.
Yeah, I've really got to play. It's on my must play list. I haven't played Journey yet. I'm sad to admit it.
No, that's fine. I don't know if you guys are paying attention. I don't know if you guys are watching me in the little corner, or if you're actually watching like the king and the crowned knight. If you watch his expressions after like one of them supposedly dies in the level, it's probably the funniest thing ever. He's like clenching and jerking and like shaking his head, and he's just like, all right, next guy, go in there and just get this done.
There are always more nights for sure.
It's so good. So how many achievements are there? Do you have a number of like if someone's really achievement hog and want to go through and go crazy?
So let's see. I think there's something like it's. I'm actually working on the trophy system right now.
Okay.
The rules are different than Steam's and things like that. So I'm not sure exactly what how it's going to work out on the PS4. But yeah, if you're really hardcore about wanting to like get all of the achievements and all of that sort of thing, I set these, and this is actually my fault. I was playtesting the game a lot, and I got pretty good at sort of like.
You blame Erik if you guys can't get all the achievements.
Yeah. I sort of, I figured out like, oh look, I can sort of sneakily save a death here, and I can sneak past this section without dying here, and so I set these like there's like a base challenge for like, can you get through the level fast enough? Can you like get through the level with as few deaths as possible? But if you're really hardcore, there's these like secret challenge numbers, where like, yeah, if you can like, here, I'll show it to you.
Okay, yeah.
So on the first level, it's pretty easy, because I died once, I died twice. So that's the minimum. Like, it's impossible to beat the level with less than 2 deaths.
Yeah.
So what that
Woohoo!
means,
And it's confetti.
yeah. So what that means is, you see how it's in, yeah, I got some.
It's in purple. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So those that purple death head and that purple like stopwatch,
Uh-huh.
those are sort of the secret challenges for every level, and you can see now the levels glow and those.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. Okay, that makes sense. So
This
so
one,
so for that one, you did it in like 7 seconds. Like, how
yeah.
is there a way that you know the time frame? Like, is it between like 5 seconds and 10 seconds, or is it just you just got to keep going until you get it?
You basically, yeah. So the base challenge, so you get the gold badge if you do it under 30,
Mm-hmm.
but like basically you have to do it within a few seconds of my fastest run to be able to get
Yeah.
the secret kind of purple. Yeah, you can see like the 30 seconds.
Like 6 seconds even. Damn.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah. Whereas the 30 seconds is good enough to get you the gold, right? So yeah, so if you're really hardcore, like, one of there's someone on the Steam forums that said, yeah, I think I put 30 hours into the game and I still haven't unlocked everything or something like that.
Holy
So
crap.
yeah, if you're really, really after, like, if you want every single one of those, every Jeff and every purple badge and that sort of thing, you can spend a lot of time on it for sure.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta. Is there any like story behind naming that thing Jeff? The thing that eats you? Is there like an asshole in your life that Jeff? You're like, this damn
No,
Jeff.
not really. It was just sort of, oh, we need a name. We couldn't like.
So
we couldn't
so out of
figure
all
it.
these names, it's like the Queen Knight Victoria the Third, and you got Jeff. Like,
Well, that's sort of part of it too, right? Is we've got like all of these knights with all of these ridiculous titles, and it's like, okay, well, this is Jeff.
I just assumed like Jeff was like some moocher, and it's like, God, that guy keeps eating all my pizza left over in the fridge.
Yeah.
And then, you make him eat something. It's cool. It's Jeff.
There was actually a Penny Arcade comic years and years and years ago about, I think it was someone playing like EverQuest or something like that in a Penny Arcade comic, and his character's name was Jim, and everyone was like, you can't call your like Elven Knight Warrior Jim, like just Jim. That's it, Jim.
Why not?
And
Jim.
so yeah, that was kind of the inspiration for just Jeff.
It's like, well, my name is Jim, but my friends call me Jim.
Yeah.
It's so good. I got someone in the chat saying if you beat the game, you should be able to unlock the ability to play as the king. Is that possible?
Well, you'll have to beat
We'll
the
have
game.
to beat the game to find out. You get the GameOctane exclusive hat as the king, and you go through and you run. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be awesome though. So on this one, you have all those like the cups over there.
Yeah. So you can see in the background.
Do those
there.
build up?
Yeah. So I don't know how many levels I've beat now, but yeah, it looks
So
like
that the more levels you beat, you're gonna have more cups everywhere.
Exactly.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
That's such a good, awesome addition in detail. I love that part. All right, well, if nobody else has any questions, or Eric, if you have anything else to show, I mean, I think we can.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we've covered the game. We talked about the company.
We talked about everything. I mean, I don't know if we missed anything.
Anything else you're curious about?
No, and what I would like to do is when this game comes out on PS4, maybe if you have time, if we both can get this to work, I'll invite you back, and you can just laugh at me while I'm playing it.
Yeah, for sure.
And
That'd be awesome.
and then we can do another live stream or something like that. And I think
My
that'd
only
be really
problem
fun.
is it's really hard not to like watch someone play and like not give hints. So I'll have to be like,
You'd be like,
yeah,
I'll just mute you every now and then. I'm like,
Right,
he's saying something.
right.
God damn.
yeah. I figured it out myself.
That's cool. No, okay. Well, it's much appreciated. I really appreciate you coming and just talking to me, even though it's a little late. I
thanks
think
very
it's
much.
later where you guys are at. But this game looks awesome. It approximately, there's no set price. It's $12.99 right now on Steam if you have a PC, and the Done to Death expansion will be free if you already own the game on PC.
That's right.
This is estimated release date of spring 2016 for PS4. And I'll keep in touch with these guys, so I'll be able to post up when it's going to launch, just in case you guys miss it for any which reason. So once you get the release date, Eric, just let me know, and we'll
absolutely.
post something up on it. Other than that, yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, please hit me up on Twitch or Twitter. You can also find Eric and these guys. They also have a Twitch and Twitter or not Twitch mainly. No Twitch, sorry. Twitter, Facebook for Life Goes On, correct? Is there anything, and the website? Is there anywhere else you guys need to? we can find you, or is that?
Oh
is that
yeah,
pretty much it?
those are the two main places. Twitter's great. We're yeah, I don't think our mailing list sign-ups up right now, but we're gonna get that up right
Okay.
away if we get an email when the game's out.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be something. Yeah. Yeah. Just let me know any updates you guys have. I'll post it up. And we'll throw this up on YouTube. So if you guys want to watch it again, or if someone hasn't seen it for the first time, you can go through everything again. Cool.
Excellent. Very good.
And all right, thanks you guys for coming in. We're gonna call it a night, and we'll see you next time.